what are some of the innovative techniques and technologies that were showcased at the conference that you believe have the potential to transform engineered retaining structures and advance the geotechnical engineering field as a whole?
A lot of about the GRS walls and slopes, the geosynthetic reinforced soil slopes, and some of those projects were hybrid systems with piling. Another project that really stuck out to me during the conference was the I-95 bridge collapse. I think that was a really impressive.
Engineered retaining structures, commonly referred to as ERS, they revolutionized construction and civil engineering industries, allowing us to build stronger, more resilient, and sustainable infrastructure that can withstand the forces of nature. From towering skyscrapers to intricate highway systems, these structures play a crucial role in shaping our modern world. Join me in this episode as I speak to Miranda Slomkowski, EIT, Regional Manager at Menard USA. We're going to talk about the cutting-edge advancements in design, materials, and construction techniques driving the future of geotechnical engineering. And this is somewhat inspired by the innovations showcased and discussed at the recent Geo-Structures 2024 conference that we both attended in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm your host, Jared Grant. I'm excited to be bringing you another episode of the Geotechnical Engineering Podcast. And with that, let's dive right into today's episode. Miranda, thanks for coming on the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Jared.
Excellent, excellent. It's been a while since we talked, and I was looking forward to this conversation. So I'm really glad that you could carve out some time for us, especially in between holidays. It's crazy right now.
Yes.
I'm glad to carve out some time for us. So let's see. If you could tell us a little bit more about yourself and what is it that inspired you to specialize in geotechnical engineering as you look at the role you have as regional manager at Menard USA?
Well, I kind of grew up around construction and geotechnical construction. My dad worked for a deep foundation contractor and a heavy civil contractor. So I grew up seeing drill rigs, grouting. As a young engineering student, I worked as an intern for him. And so I grew up around the drilling industry. And then naturally, as I graduated, I also joined a deep foundation contractor and did both construction and design of deep foundations and supportive excavations. And when I found Menard, I really was attracted to the ground improvement world and the design build world. I really enjoy being able to get creative to win a job, to see the design, and then go out and build it. So that's been really motivating to me throughout my career.
It's fantastic. I mean, I talked to a lot of people over it's years now on this show, and I really come across a lot of people that have kind of grown up in it. So that's pretty awesome. So it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, oh, yeah, construction sites, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, most people don't know what difference between grout and cement, and they're a young person. You're like, oh, I know.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. So we recently had a conference, right? We're going to talk about a little bit. And what are some of the innovative techniques and technologies that were showcased at the conference that you believe have the potential to transform engineered retaining structures and advance the geotechnical engineering field as a whole?
There were a lot of great presentations, a lot of about the GRS walls and slopes, the geosynthetic reinforced soil slopes, and some of those projects were hybrid systems with piling. And I think that just shows how creative consultants are getting with the different projects. Another project that really stuck out to me during the conference was the I-95 bridge collapse and the rapid reopening of that. I think that was a really impressive feat for that team to quickly design, to build this lightweight aggregate embankment and bridge to get the commuters back on the road, and it was really impressive by the whole team. So that was a bit about the highlights from the conference for me.
Okay. And for those that might be listening, like, what conference are you all talking about? So this is the Geo-Structures conference to American Society of Civil Engineers, Geo Institute, which was held in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, not too long ago, depending on when we end up airing this. And there were a lot of people there. A lot of people
Uh,
there. So I'm glad that we could find someone that was willing to talk about the conference. So thank you for taking that initiative, Miranda.
yeah, and a very convenient conference for us to attend here in my hometown in Pittsburgh. So
There you go. We brought it to you. We came to you.
yes.
So let's see. So what? And thank you for the idea. This is your idea. Say, hey, let's do a recap. I was like, recap. It's a lot of responsibility.
It was a good conference. So
It was. It was. So let's see. So what are some of the other memorable topics or presentations that stood out to you at the event?
I don't. What I kept coming back to was a reoccurring theme that how important it is to become involved with maybe the technical committees or these associations. One of the first panels was it was a panel of a contractor, a consultant, a supplier, and a professor. And each of them were involved with different technical committees. And it's through these committees that we really see advancement in the geotechnical industry. And I think that kind of tied back into the last day, the last session that I was able to be involved with and moderated, which was a mentoring session. We had a panel of 4 trailblazers in the industry, some well-known women that have done a lot for the geotech world. And it was a great session, about an hour and a half of mentors and mentees with just casual discussion and Q&A. Everything from what would you do in a situation? How would you ask for a raise? How do you deal with a difficult consultant or a difficult reviewer or manager? And they kept coming back to how important it is to get involved and young. And I think we're really lucky that a lot of these associations and local chapters have younger members, forums. So there's lots of opportunity to get involved early. And the conference did a good job at allowing some young members to moderate sessions, which is a great stepping stone, to get comfortable to present one day. And I think it's good for companies too to allow their young people to go out to these conferences, to get involved. It helps the company get out there to get their name out there and allow them to bring back some great ideas.
That's fantastic. When you think about the industry, it's so collaborative, and conferences like this, like Geo-Structures, for me, it's just a reminder of the importance of making sure we're talking together, right? So
Hmm.
consultants need to be talking to specialty contractors, need to be speaking to vendors and manufacturers and agencies as well. So we understand the capabilities, the limitations, and the opportunities that are in front of us. So I'm glad that, and the notion of having younger folks in the industry up on the platform is important, right? It's like you want to grow up in the industry from the front, right? And I think that's an important thing. So I'm glad that's happening too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. How do you see the discussions from the conference shaping the future ERS design and construction? Like, what are your thoughts there?
I, I think you mentioned it is the collaboration between the consultants, the agencies, the contractors. I think that's really important and something you can bring to this conference is your point of view and to share those point of views. We kind of heard over and over some great lessons learned of from a consultant, do not blindly, copy the last spec. We saw from contractors, we ask for real loads for a reason. And if you're too conservative, it's not always going to benefit your project. We want the system to act as it truly will in real life. And so I think collaboration is key. and that's going to strengthen the future.
Excellent. So we've had people on from Menard USA, and it'd be great if you could talk a little bit about how Menard USA aligns with the advancements and trends that were emphasized at the conference, especially as it relates to sustainability and efficiency. Those are things that I heard a lot about at the conference.
Yeah, ground improvement is inherently more typically more sustainable than traditional or conventional piling, and we have our own push to continue to advance our own technologies and our own reduce our own carbon footprint. We are trying daily to have more efficient grout mixes, more efficient equipment, to bring that, to the industry and to share those ideas too.
Excellent. So let's see, Miranda, in your opinion, what role does collaboration between engineers, contractors, or regulatory agencies, how does that play towards driving innovation at ERS? And how can this collaboration be strengthened? Like trying to think of some times that you wish there was more collaboration, you had a magic wand. Like, how do you fix that? What are your thoughts there?
I think another thing we get from these conferences is building relationships and building trust. And one of the panels or presentations was lessons learned. And I think that's not always easy for people to get up there and share their mistakes. And they did. One of the contractors shared a wall that had failed, and they went out and fixed it, and they got the next 3 projects with that owner. And I think that that shows that, hey, we made a mistake. Here's how we're going to fix it. We're going to regain your trust. And they did that. And I think that if we can, as a team, as a whole project team, we don't point fingers at the contractor or the consultant, and we try to get over these obstacles together, it's going to be able to strengthen and everyone benefits throughout that project. And so I think what comes from that is relationships and trust.
So true. And I mean, the reality is that when you're at a conference, you never know the person that you're sitting next to. This could be somebody you're working on a project next few months, could be a person you're reviewing their documents next few years, right? There is a lot. It could be your partner for design build opportunity in the next decade, right? So, you know, building relationships, I agree. It's so important. You build a relationship because it's the right thing to do, not because it's transactional. I'm gonna spend time with
Right.
you so I can get another project. No, it's like you're all coming together to say how can we make the industry better, and then from that have that opportunity to collaborate. And especially what you talked about with the technical committee. That's another great way, especially if somebody's young in their career, to learn more about the industry, give back, and build a network professionally. So really good stuff.
Absolutely.
Really good stuff. So Miranda, how do you think that industry events like, let's say, Geo-Structures 2024, how does a conference like this help geotechnical engineers stay ahead of challenges such as implementing new technologies or adapting to evolving regulations? And why do you think that they should attend, why should engineers attend more conferences like these? We have a lot of folks that are listening. It might be fresh out of school, starting to wear a new company. It might be a little timid or shy about asking to attend a conference. What are some things you can give them to consider? Maybe help them to make the pitch within their company.
Yeah, I think these conferences are important, one for the technical committees to keep them accountable and to follow through with their great initiatives, and then to present on what those initiatives are to the industry. I think that's one important factor to these conferences, is to make sure we're following through with the things we will see done and accomplished. And then for these individuals, no, I think this is a great way to promote your company, and you can take this to your manager and say, by attending this, it gets our company name out there. If we exhibit, we can, have a booth and our name big and you know have lots of networking. So from an external perspective, it's good for companies to attend these and to present. Like we mentioned earlier, there was a number of lessons learned, but there was also a, a lot of different presentations about the great successes. So I think it's a great opportunity to get your abstracts in for the next conference and present on your accomplishments.
Excellent. That sounds good. I'm sure somebody's listening during their commute to a job site. It's freezing cold. They're like, why am I out here? Just, it's like, stick it through. You might be able to talk about this at a conference, right?
Yeah.
There's good things to happen. I guess the big picture.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll
Awesome.
make it
All right.
through this project.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So let's
Mhm.
see, before we take our break, final piece of advice you want to share with geotechnical engineers on leveraging innovative techniques and technologies to make a lasting impact on their careers and also to make way for industry advancements. What are your thoughts there?
Put yourself out there. I think if you can find a team that helps you put yourself out there to help collaborate with other companies and owners, it's just going to further you and your career. It's going to further the industry. There is no such thing as a dumb question or a dumb idea. So you gotta just put yourself out there.
I love it. Great place to pause. That was awesome. That was awesome. We're going to come back in just a minute and close this one out with Miranda, our career factor safety in segment. Stick around. All right, welcome back. It's time for our career factor safety end segment. In geotechnical engineering, just like many disciplines of engineering, it's important to incorporate a factor safety into your design. But what about incorporating a factor safety into your actual career? Today, of course, we're speaking with Miranda Slomkowski, EIT Regional Manager at Menard USA. Miranda, you've had a very successful career. When you look back in your career, I know you're still in your career, you're not retiring tomorrow, right? When you look back in your career so far, what's something that you've implemented in your career to give yourself, let's call it a factor safety in your career?
I think for me is a bit of self-acceptance, knowing that I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know, and that's okay. And so that I can have confidence in the things that I know. And if I don't know something, I'm going to find that person to help me figure it out or to help my client figure it out. And so I think it's okay to have some self-acceptance of where we're at in our careers.
I love it. That was great. That was great. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and for sharing all the great insights with us. You share great information and advice. I know it's going to be helpful for our listeners and those that are watching. If somebody say, hey, I wish I could reach out to Miranda, what's the best way for them to get you? Are you on social media or you have an email address you want to share? You can get in the show notes.
Absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm also on our website at menardusa.com, or you can email me at mslomkowski@menardusa.com.
Excellent. We'll make sure we get that in the show notes. Thank you so much for coming on. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks, Jared.
I hope you enjoyed the episode today. We would love to hear your feedback, comments, and/or questions. Please feel free to go to geotechnicalengineeringpodcast.com, where you'll find a summary of the key points discussed in today's episode, as well as any links to any resources, websites, or books mentioned during this episode. Until next time, we wish you the very best in all of your geotechnical engineering endeavors. Peace.